Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for this Monday night, February 17th, 2014, of course, the President's Day edition, coming to you live from Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Denver, Colorado. I was there last month on vacation, and I was riding one of their light whales, and I bumped into a fan, a WWE wrestling fan wearing a Daniel Bryan shirt, who told me he was going to this Raw tonight. And he must have been very satisfied with this morning night in Denver. Of course, the go-home show before Elimination Chamber this Sunday. And, of course, the last Raw before the launch of the WWE Network. My thoughts on this, like I said, being a go-home show before the pay-per-view Sunday. Pretty decent one. We had a decent matchup tonight involving a certain ego in WWE. And the main event had a little bit of a disruptive ending, but the ending itself of Raw was pretty interesting, building up towards the pay-per-view Sunday. Of course, the crowd in Denver was pretty good tonight. Of course, like every other week since he's walked out. A lot of CM Punk chants today, especially with the news that came out that apparently CM Punk has successfully asked for an early release. We all know his contract was up in July, and now he's rumored to have successfully asked for an early release. And if it does happen, if it is, WWE still not confirming it. Of course, they don't want to confirm or even address CM Punk fully on television. But if Punk did get his early release, it does suck. Because I still want him to come back, though. At least try to come back. Maybe. I know you're frustrated, but come on. Man up and try to figure it out, man. Hash it out. Don't just walk in like a pussy. I love him, but. Anyway, we will begin War tonight with, of course, an ego. Of course, as I like to call him, Super Cena. John Cena would come out talking about the momentum that Randy Orton has none because he's lost 3 out of his 4 matches thus far in its Chamber Gauntlet match, running against all this Chamber opponents in singles matches. Of course, he would take on Sheamus tonight. He lost to Cena last Monday, and he lost to Cesaro on Friday. Wow, Cesaro's got a name change because he's no longer Antonio Cesaro. He's now Cesaro. He's not the only name change, which I'll get to in a moment when we get to another name change. So Cesaro came out saying, Cena, I be Orton too. And I'm ready for the Sunday. Of course, he came out with Cesaro came out with Zeb Coulter, and all the other participants would interrupt. Christian would come out. Randy Orton would come out. Sheamus would come out, all pleading their cases. And of course, here comes the man who everyone, including myself, thinks and hopes wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Sunday. The man, the leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan, like his new shirt. Anyway, you have many things. You have 2 new Daniel Bryan shirts. One just says yes on it, the word yes, and you got yes with a picture of D-Bryan on it. Kind of like the Obey picture. I see like Obey shirts, but it was a yes shirt, D-Bryan on it. D-Bryan's ready and where to go as far as all the participants in the chamber match. But of course, here comes the director of operations, Kane. Of course, named Corporate Kane. A lot of you sold out chants, making matches. Since Orton's an answer tonight, against, like I said, taking on Sheamus, the 4 other participants would also be an answer as well. We would have Cena take on Cesaro later on, which would end up being a decent matchup, which I'll get to. But we would have a first match involving the other 2 participants, Christian against Daniel Bryan. It was kind of distracting D-Bryan. D-Bryan basically got his ass beat by Christian for the early half of the matchup. Decent matchup between these 2 guys. I love both these guys. Christian was playing the heel in this case, taking advantage of that kind of distraction he really public on D-Bryan, especially when he whammed D-Bryan against the steel steps. But I think D-Bryan kind of landed on the steel post because he kind of injured his arm bad. And that injured arm was a big target for Christian throughout the majority of this matchup. Despite D-Bryan trying to get momentum, every time trying to get momentum, with a big fly move, I know he was trying to go for the flying goat move. Christian just nailed him with a big punch. And of course, focusing again on that injured arm. And it's kind of weird to see Christian as a heel, playing as a heel, coming off the attack on D-Bryan, like I said, from that distraction from Kane. And of course, like D-Bryan always does, of course, D-Bryan came flying back. Of course, I like one count. I think a lot of good counters. Like Christian was going for the kill switch many times in his matchup. And one time, he did get countered to the S-Lock. But of course, D-Bry couldn't fully lock it in because, like I said, of the injured arm. And there's some great endings on the matches last week. I think it was one good ending last week when I said doing a 6-man tag involving the Wyatts and Rey Mysterio. And I think it was team up against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. I didn't remember on that, but I remember Rey Mysterio got sprung into midair and it was caught in midair by Bray Wyatt for the Sister Abigail in midair. That was kind of a cool finish. This was kind of a cool finish too. Despite D-Bry bouncing back, Christian came, of course, with some big moves. Of course, trying to nail a kill switch yet again. But D-Bry would counter the kill switch and roll up Christian 1, 2, 3 for the victory. D-Bry got the victory despite being pummeled and punished with the arm being a target for Christian. But D-Bry wasn't done yet. I think D-Bry's taking Punk's place in many different roles. Not only is D-Bry now like the new most popular guy, besides he and Punk were kind of jockeying for most popular superstar, because both guys get huge pops everywhere they go. I would love to see him fight at Mania one day if Punk can get his act straight with WWE. But he's also taking Punk's role in a feud with the Authority. Now, I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, when Daniel Bryan lost to Randy Orton, WWE always likes to do this. Like, every time D-Bry wins something, WWE squashes it by doing something stupid. By having D-Bry win, but again, getting his ass beat after the matchup. Well, that's exactly what kind of happened here. Following this matchup with Christian, after getting pummeled, especially with the elbow injury, and despite that, Kane would put D-Bry in another match against him. Of course, Kane and D-Bry have had their issues, of course, stemming from D-Bry's now inserting himself, or being inserted, into being the guy to feud against the Authority since Punk's out, because Punk was kind of feuding the Authority. Now, D-Bry's taking a spot. Like I said, taking a spot in so many different roles. It was basically not even a match. It was like more like a fucking squash, more like a segment. Just Kane just pummeled on D-Bry, just really taking advantage of that elbow injury, just really pummeling on it, and kind of squeezing D-Bry's head against the post, causing a disqualification because Kane had D-Bry in a hole, but he couldn't. He didn't break at the referee's counting 5. He didn't break at 5 when the referee was counting. So it's kind of like a stupid little segment there. Because D-Bry just got pummeled by Kane, like I said, I think it was a weird injury. Not a storyline injury, a weird injury to his arm. I think he mislanded on the post. He was supposed to land on the steps, but I think he hit the post instead. That's why his arm got injured. Now on to our next matchup involving Scaramouche, Denver doing the Fandango, called some way to accompany him, along with Santino Marella and Emma. God, she did get fired. Anyway, the Evolution, still stupid. This match is okay, especially after following the D-Bry match, and I hope D-Bry does win at the Chamber match. And if D-Bry ends up losing, which I don't want to, he'll probably get fucking screwed. Like D-Bry would come in, then Kane would come in, and maybe screw D-Bry. Like I said, continue this somewhat feud with D-Bry and the Authority. But back to Santino and Fandango, kind of like a weird matchup. Fandango was trying to come in with his flashy high dance moves, and Tino came flying back when it caused his big hip toss, and he was setting up for the Cobra. However, Summer Rae got distracted. Well, Summer Rae distracted Santino, and then Summer Rae got pummeled with the helicopter spin by Emma, sending Summer Rae out of the equation. But Emma would unfortunately be a distraction for Santino. I think Santino and Emma, Emma's like an accomplice, accompany Santino to the ring. Emma maybe more than a manager, or maybe more than a person, maybe more than an escort to Santino. They're flirting. You saw him flirt. Now, unfortunately, flirting by Emma distracted Santino so much, Fandango took advantage as it looked like Santino and Emma were going to kiss at one point. But Santino got attacked by Fandango, set her back in the ring for a big reverse suplex, and that flirting from Emma distracted Santino in a 1-2-3 victory for Fandango taking advantage of that distraction with the big suplex to end the matchup. So there you go. Fandango wins the matchup. In some ways, still dizzy. Went out dizzy after the matchup. On to the next match involving Roman Reigns. God, he's getting a big push these days, especially stemming from this match against Mark Henry, wanting revenge after getting somewhat screwed on the U.S. Championship last week after the Shield. Other members of the Shield, referring to Rollins and Reigns getting involved in costing Henry the opportunity to beat Ambrose for the U.S. Championship. And of course, Roman Reigns and Ambrose, I think they got a little thing going. There's a little dissension this Shield. We saw that last week when Ambrose didn't nail the open challenge after Reigns kind of called him out. And even Reigns said it again. I'm going to do what you couldn't do, Ambrose. Beat Mark Henry by myself without anybody's help. That's exactly what happened. Like, Reigns is like the guy who can beat anybody that the other members couldn't beat. Like, Reigns beats CM Punk, Ambrose and Wilder's going to beat Punk, and then Reigns beat Mark Henry tonight. And Mark Henry, I love this guy. You know, he's a great guy, and I'm glad he got Reigns over. There's a lot of guys who are willing to get other guys over, which I'll comment when I get to a certain ego. And when Mark Henry did try to get some offense, it was some big power moves, did try to set up the world's strongest slam, but of course, Big Reigns did get the Samoa drop on Mark Henry. And if Cena can F you Big Show, and F you also Viscera, Great Khali, among many other big men, Rollins, his tag partner, Reigns can Samoa drop Mark Henry. And after Mark Henry trying to come back, here comes the big Superman punch from Roman Reigns, leading up to the big spear and victory for Reigns. And I do mean a big victory over Mark Henry. You know, a big accomplished guy, and I'm glad that, like I said, Mark Henry's willing to get Reigns over by losing to him. You know, now a lot of guys are willing to get other guys over, as we would see, like I said, with certain superstars. John Cena, anyway. After the matchup, Ambrose kind of still mad at not beating Henry fair and square last week, almost on Mark Henry, and Reigns was kind of like puzzled. What are you doing? Then the Wyatts came on the screen, doing another widow. You know, joy, up in my heart. Little creepy little promo. They say, this Sunday, we're excited about this Sunday. I'm ready to sacrifice. I'm ready to die for this Sunday. And then Roman Reigns took the mic and said, hey, Shield wants you now, Wyatts. We want you to get down here and we want to get it done before Sunday. We want to get it on before Sunday. And Bray's like, we're thinking the same damn thing. Here come the Wyatts. Now, last week we saw a kind of a similar segment involving these two factions. We saw like the Shield and Wyatts coming very close to blows last week. Like they were both on each side of the apron, but the Wyatts kind of backed down before they could really get it on. Then that's exactly what happened in this segment too. Wyatts came out and they were all in the ring. You know, like I said, it looked like they were going to come to blows again for another teaser. You know, like I said, they wanted to build this thing up, and I think they're doing a good job of building it up by kind of teasing the fight, but holding it back until Sunday. But as we would see in the ending, we may end up finally seeing these two teams come to blows after all before Sunday, as we would see from our final segment. So one more final teaser before Sunday with this two teams once again coming very close to blows, but it didn't happen in this instance until, of course, we would see later on in the evening. Now, with our next matchup, involving Jack Swagger, the number one contender for the IC Championship, taking on Kofi Kingston. A lot of matches added for Elimination Chamber tonight. Kickoff match, Cody Rhodes and Goldust. For the second pay-per-view in a row, they are the pre-show. This time, since they're no longer champions, they are going to take on the pre-show Ryback. Of course, the team comprising of Ryback and Curtis Axel. And we also find out Jack Swagger will take on Biggie Langston for the Intercontinental Championship. 1 year ago, Swagger won the chamber match to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship and face El Punto de Leo for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania until he got busted for weed and lost. And how ironic. Weed's legal in Denver, of course. And what happens after Jack Swagger got arrested? He went from fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship to fighting for the Intercontinental Championship this Sunday at a chamber match. But, despite that, Swagger won a match against Kofi Kingston in a fatal four-way match. They can submit to the opportunity, and they will face off in a one-on-one match. In this instance, Swagger against Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston guy, I feel bad for him. I like Kofi Kingston, but he needs to step up his game. You know, he needs to get over. If he wants to get over, change his persona. Do something John Cena would never do. Go heel. Kofi needs to change his persona. His colorful attitude. His Jamaican me crazy, his little happy-go-lucky self. He needs to change it. It's kind of stale. He needs to step up his character. And look what happened with people when they change their characters. When Edge turned heel, he was a great heel. He became champion by turning heel, and a crazy heel at that. So if Kofi turns heel, it'd be a great thing for him. And he could really benefit from it. You could finally get him somewhere. Instead of being stuck, because he's stuck doing the same things because he's the same old Kofi. He needs to step it up and be different. And maybe he'll end up different instead of being crumbled up in the mid-card being a jobber. I did see a jobber sign tonight. And then, of course, Kofi, being his happy-go-lucky self, did try to... She making me crazy no longer, but still trying to be all happy-go-lucky. He did nail the SOS at one point in the boot drop. But of course, Swagger wanting momentum for his match this Sunday against Mr. Big E. Yes. Speaking of name change, I told you Cesaro's now Cesaro, no longer Antonio Cesaro. They dropped the Langston in Big E Langston. Now it's just Big E. Interesting. Anyway, Swagger countering the Trailway Paradise from Kofi. Kofi was going for a big move, but of course, this Cesaro's tag team partner Swagger turned into the Patriot Lock, and of course made Kofi attack. And Swagger would stay at ringside with Mr. Coulter to see Big E in a handicap match. And speaking of jobbers, of course, I saw a jobber sign, like I said. We would take on, in a handicap match, Big E would take on the Job Squad. 2MB. Where was Slater tonight? We didn't see Heath Slater. Must be taking a break again. We would see, of course, his other two bandmates, Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. And I love this match just because Zeb Coulter kept talking during the matchup. He did make some reference, of course, to, speaking of signs, I saw a sign that says, finally, I see champions in Denver. Because Denver Broncos lose the Super Bowl. And even, because Zeb Coulter kind of mentioned it about Seahawks beating the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. I love that segment. And 2MB did try to beat up on Big E, especially a big kick from Jinder Mahal. As Big E got distracted by Zeb Coulter talking. It's kind of funny seeing Zeb Coulter talking in commentary. He wasn't wearing a headset. He was talking commentary out loud to the crowd because he had a mic in his hand. So it's kind of a little funny segment. But despite the 3MB, or at least 2 out of 3MB, I like that name. 2 out of 3MB. That should be the new name when one of them's not around. 2 out of 3MB. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3MB. Anyway, despite 2MB looked okay in this matchup, but of course, Big E Langston would just dominate. Despite being kicked in the face, you did see blood come out. It was a legitimate hit. He did come back with not 1 but 2 big endings to get the victory, giving himself momentum for his match against Swagger on Sunday. I think Swagger could end up losing. I think Big E's going to be doing it. I know Big E's champion for a while. And I would love to see Cesaro win. But let me say this. If Cesaro doesn't win the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Sunday, I think Swagger can win the IC Championship. We'll see. But it should be a very, very tricky matchup between these two people, Swagger and Big E Langston. I talked about new matches made for the Chamber. Another new match made for the Chamber. And I should have guessed this was going to happen eventually. 2 former partners collide as Titus O'Neil will take on Darren Young this Sunday as well. Now on to probably the best match of all. Swagger wasn't action. Now we got Cesaro taking on... Well, Cesaro last week, I mentioned Cesaro took on Randy Orton and won against Randy Orton. Like I said at the beginning of this video, Randy Orton's one of those guys who let other people get over him. Who lets people beat him. Not like Cesaro's opponent tonight, the man who's faster than a Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show, able to bury careers, and in Cesaro's case, and pushes in a single bound, the most hated man in WWE, Super Cena. Because Cena said last week, you want to get to the top, new guys, you got to go through me. Or in other words, you're trying to get over me, but my big ego won't let you get over me. Because I'll never get you over. He almost did tonight. And it was a great matchup, nonetheless. Great matchup for this guy. Cesaro looked awesome tonight against Cena. Last week, of course, like I mentioned, he got a big cheer. You know, like I said, fans are starting to get him over. And Cesaro just dominated over Cena. Some great moves. One of my favorites was when he suplexed Cena from outside the ropes into the ring again. That was kind of a cool little move there. Of course, the uppercuts. And despite many attempts, I think he attempted to Cesaro swing at least 3 times, and he finally did it. You know, swing! Or what I didn't call it. The Cesaro swing! Range World reference. Anyway, great matchup. But every time, of course, it was unfortunate like any other typical Super Cena match. Cena would get his ass beat, and of course, come flying back. Because no one can beat me, because I'm an ego. You know what I mean? Like I said, Cena's one of those guys who will never let anyone get over him. Unless you're Daniel Bryan. Because he did lose to Daniel Bryan. I'll give him credit for that. But in this case, Cesaro's big push, like I said in the beginning of this, Cena's one of those guys who likes to bury people. And especially in Cesaro's case, end pushes. Like, oh, Cesaro, you're getting a push. I'm going to push you aside. You're going to push me aside. I'm going to push you down. I'm going to basically bury you. But Cesaro looked very well in this matchup. It was very physical. Very decent matchup. For being a Cena match, it's pretty good. Just basically, since Cesaro carried the match. I've always said that D-Bryan and CM Punk's two of those people who can have good matches with just anybody. I think we can add Cesaro to the list of a guy who can make anybody look good, especially Cena. Unfortunately, Cena getting the win in this case. Despite Cesaro's great effort and a great performance, Cesaro, of course, lose to Cena, with Cena delivering the FU after numerous attempts at that 1-2-3 victory for Super Cena, trying to give himself momentum for this Sunday. Oh, thank God, Cena. I want Cena to be the first to enter the chamber and the first to get eliminated. I don't want Cena to fucking win. At least if you get Cena out first, it's like, yay, Cena's not gonna win. You know, I just hope Cena gets in first and loses first. It gets eliminated first, like I said. So there you go. Great matchup despite Cena once again winning. But Cesaro looked very good tonight. And despite this little setback, I think Cesaro may get a push one day. Despite looking like he was buried once again by John Cena. But Cesaro looked very good, like I said. It's kind of a mix there. Anyway, on to the next scenario. Randy Orton kind of bumping into Triple H and Batista as well. Kind of a mini Evolution reunion. There, and of course, WWE Raw, who will take on Batista this Sunday, kind of blackmailed him before getting stomped by Batista. Of course, Del Rio wearing a neck brace after getting a Batista bomb through a table last week for Mr. Batista. So there you go. Says Del Rio will be ready. He'll be ready for Batista Sunday. Now on to the next matchup. The Wyatts taking on Sin Cara and the Los Matadors and El Torito involved. I knew it was going to be a kind of a squash tag team match. Because the Wyatts need momentum. They're ready for the Sunday. They're getting ready for the big brawl against the Shield. And that's what happened during the first half of the match. Just the Wyatts just pounded on one of the Los Matadors, the Angle, just pounded him, just isolated him in their corner till Sin Cara came in. And we always make fun of Sin Cara botching a lot. Even if he's played by a new person, there is the botch. As Sin Cara came in, he was trying to go for a flying clothesline, but he didn't connect it all the way. But I think that was more Harper's fault, because Harper was one in, and I think Harper was out of position to get that clothesline. Like the clothesline didn't fully connect. But I don't think I should blame Sin Cara in this case. I think it was Harper for being out of position. Like I said, despite a little botch, Sin Cara tried to regain a composure and try to get back the win here and try to help his team get the victory. Even though Torino got involved. But indeed, the Wyatts would indeed get the victory after Harper delivering a killer clothesline to Sin Cara, tagged in Bray Wyatt with his backward spider move, got the Sister Abigail in the 1-2-3 for the Wyatts. Gave themselves momentum. It's kind of weird seeing Los Matadors do it. We haven't seen Los Matadors in a while. We haven't seen Primo and Diego and Sandago, whatever the name's on there. So there you go. Let's see Los Matadors back on TV. But it did getting squashed by the Wyatts. Now on our next matchup involving Billy Gunn taking on Jey Uso. Another match being made. I kind of sensed this coming out of last week. The Usos getting a tag team title shot against New Age Outlaws. That should be a very intriguing matchup. And I think it's the Usos' time to be champions. You know, Usos have been in the WWE for 5 years now. Ever since they came in with Tamina as heels. They were decent heels. Feuding with the Hart Dynasty a few years ago. And I think they really found their spot as mid-card tag team with their great fan reaction. You saw a lot of Uso signs tonight. I think this could be the time to be tag team champions. Because I think, like, New Metallos being tag team champions, it won't be a long reign. I don't think it'll be a long reign. But at least to see New Metallos be tag team champs again. And like I said, about certain people, letting people get over them. New Age Outlaws will do what's best for business and get the Usos over by dropping the belts to them on Sunday. It'd be great. Because I love the Outlaws and I love Usos too. But I think it's Usos time, man. The reaction's getting better. And Usos came out, they had a little botch. Like, Renee came out after the we say, ooh, you'll say, ooh, so. They still aired the New Age Outlaws video in the background on the big Titantron. Titantron. Did they still call it that? Anyway, Road Dogg and Jimmy were commentating on the outside, and they was kind of like going back and forth with each other, especially making fun of the fact that New Age Outlaws got the asses beat by the Usos' dad, of course, Rikishi. So, Billy Gunn, being a veteran, all kind of pummeled on Jay in this okay little matchup. But of course, Billy Gunn was trying to nail at one point after pummeling on Jay. Of course, Jay trying to come back with his big high-flying maneuvers. Billy Gunn did have him in position for the favor, sir. But as he was setting it up, Jay kind of countered with a roll-up and a big victory for himself in a one-on-one match against Billy Gunn. Kind of getting a surprise victory. After the matchup, Jimmy and Road Dogg got it on. They kind of feuded until Jay would come in with a big nasty kick to Road Dogg. And as Billy Gunn was kind of consoling Road Dogg, the Uso one of them flew, onto the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn on the floor. Uso got momentum big time, man. Like I said, I love Outlaws, but I think, like we all knew when Outlaws got the belt, we all knew their reign wasn't going to be a short one. And of all teams found to lose to and get over, is Usos. It's their time. You know, they've had title shots numerous times against, like I said, against the Hart Dynasty 5 years ago when they first came in. Last year, they kind of had a shot against the Shield. But I think now, feuding against the Outlaws would be good for them. And they couldn't end up winning. If they don't win the chamber match, like they don't win in the match in the chamber, they may win on Monday Night Raw or maybe Mania if they wait that long to have Usos be champions. So there you go. But the main event, Randy Orton against Sheamus. These two have wrestled many times. Royal Rumble, recently last year, the Raw after Mania, with a lot of chants because the match is kind of boring. I did hear some boring chants during the King Daniel Bryan match because, like I said, it wasn't even a match; it was like a stupid segment. But this match, you know, a lot of chanting because this match was okay, man. Orton and Sheamus. There was one cool spot though. Orton suplex, side suplex, Sheamus through the announce table. And I love this. This is TVPG and all. And you hear the fans visibly. You hear them. They were caught saying, holy shit. Holy shit. You heard them on camera. You know, you can hear them. So that was very interesting to see holy shit chant on the TVPG chant. TV14 chant on TVPG. And the match between Sheamus and Orton was okay. You know, Sheamus tried to, you know, he did the chops and everything. Orton trying to get momentum because Orton's 1-3 in these matches against his chamber opponents in these gauntlets. You know, losing to Cena, Deba, and Cesaro, only winning against Christian. That's why Christian was aggressive tonight against Daniel Bryan in the opening matchup. So Orton was trying to gain momentum. He did get the suplex on. It was an okay little matchup between these two guys. You know, they've had boring matches before. This is probably the best, if you can call any match between Orton and Sheamus good. Probably the best encounter, if you can call anything good between these two guys. So there you go. With this matchup, and the ending of the matchup was kind of a screwy ending to the match, ending in a no contest. But the ending of Raw coming out of this ending of the matchup would be the best ending in a while. Orton was setting up the RKO, and then Sheamus would come back flying high with two counter cross backbreakers. And here he would come as Sheamus was trying to set up the Brogue Kick. As he was setting up the Brogue Kick, here comes the Shield, beating up on Sheamus for whatever reason. As the Shield pumping on Sheamus, here comes John Cena, here comes Christian, here comes Daniel Bryan to the fray, and Christian. And then the Wyatts came out. And like I said, we had a little tease involving Shield and Wyatts getting into a feud, getting into a brawl tonight, early on in the evening. But this time, when these two teams faced off in the ring, nose to nose, they got it on. And they brawled as we end war with a big brawl with the Shield, Riots, Cena, Orton, Christian, D-Bryan, Sheamus, and Cesaro all getting in there in a brawl to end war. It's very intriguing brawl to end war. Like I said, the match ending in a DQ, no contest, screwy ending. But the ending of the matchup, leading towards the ending of War, was pretty good. Like I said, the big brawl at the end, that was kind of a fun way to end War. And of course, build up momentum for the Elimination Chamber Sunday. So go decent ending to the War. Okay, shitty ending for the match between Orton and Sheamus, but hey, it was kind of an okay match anyway. To end that way, especially to end War like that, the way it did was great. Like I said, once again, a big selling point for Elimination Chamber this Sunday was that ending. It should be a very tricky pay-per-view Sunday. Last one before Mania, of course. And, for a lot of us, the last ever WWE pay-per-view we have to pay $55 for. Because the network's coming. And that is it for my WWE Raw review tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you buy win Sunday with that in mind. You've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all again for watching. Happy President's Day, everybody. See you later. Yes! Yes! Yes!